laka au chochote kitakachoumbwa. Warumi 8:38 hadi 39.
Ili kupata sikiza tune hiyo ya Warumi 8, bonyeza *811*963# *811*963#.
Well, good evening to you. Great thanks for joining us. This is Sunday Express now tonight. Even it appears like the road is clear for former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, those opposing him are saying they will not accept any intimidation and Kenyans should be given free space to elect their leaders. We're talking about the One Kenya Alliance, his former allies, and Deputy President William Ruto. We have details lined up for you tonight.
All right. The political temperature seems to be getting higher in this country, of course. Right here on Sunday Express tonight also, we will be having an interview. Tonight we are going to make it a little bit inspirational for you. We are going beyond disability as we feature one gentleman by the name Kenneth Warungu Mwangi, a governance and leadership expert who has gone and he has beat the odds to become a lawyer in this particular country. And he will be telling us a little bit about his journey and what are some of the insight he has with regards to the leadership and governance of this particular country, especially as we get to the 2022 general election. That and much more contained in our comprehensive news bulletin that begins right now. But first, let's get the top stories.
Tusikubali kamwe mtu kufikiri ataamua ni nani atakuwa MCA wako. Mtu kufikiri ni nani atakuwa mjumbe wako. Mtu kukaa na kufikiri atakuchagulia senator. Ama kukaa ati yeye ndio atakupatia rais.
For better or for worse, One Kenya Alliance principles insist they will stick together. Death traps, small-scale gold miners in Migori County seek government intervention. And what is in culture? We tell you about the special stool in Turkana. This is in our special feature. And Elisha Kiprop and Valentine Keter are the winners of this year's Standard Chartered Nairobi Marathon.
All right, welcome on board as we kickstart this broadcast. My name is Serfine Achieng Ouma. And of course, I'm not doing this alone. He has been missing in action.
All right, and I'm back. My name is John Jacob Kioria. Welcome to the broadcast. Of course, we begin from Nairobi's Eastlands, Buruburu to be specific. And a fire incident that engulfed a section of a dormitory in Buruburu Girls Secondary School in Nairobi Sunday evening has been contained.
Harambee Ward Member of County Assembly Anthony Kimemia has said that parents had been asked to go back home because students are safe, save for a few who had been injured and were taken to nearby hospitals such as Metropolitan and Jamar for treatment.
The MCS's members of the public and parents rushed to the school after seeing videos of the fire online, forcing the school to call for enforcement to contain the situation.
All right. And of course, this is coming at a time when the Board of Management, Jairus Opicho, also confirmed that at least some good news, there are no fatalities except for the injuries. We told you that the students had been taken to nearby hospitals, Metropolitan and Jama. Of course, it's a developing story, and we'll be giving you more details as soon as we get more news with regards to this report.
And of course, related to the same, there is another fire reported at Chavakali Boys High School in Vihiga County. And the fire risked down one dormitory. No casualties reported in Chavakali also. So it's good news that there are no casualties reported in this both fires. But again, it's important that investigative agencies get to the bottom of it and understand what really is happening, what happened, the cause of the fire in Buruburu Girls as well as Chavakali Boys.
Yeah, true. All right, so away from that matter, let's get a little bit political. The One Kenya Alliance principals now say they will not be intimidated to support a presidential aspirant outside the coalition. The principals who are speaking in Thika said Kenya will have a new dawn under the One Kenya Alliance. Let's get that report.
The five Oka chiefs Musalia Mudavadi, Moses Wetangula, Kalonzo Musyoka, Gideon Moi and Cyrus Jirongo on Sunday took their campaign trail to Thika, Kiambu County.
I want to say thank you also for Honorable Moses,
where they attended a church service at the ATG Church. The Oka leadership restating its commitment to better the tough economic times ravaging many Kenyans.
Ndio tunasema tutapunguza ushuru marudufu by 50%. Tukifanya hivyo, hawa ile inaitwa gross domestic product, uchumi wa Kenya utakuwa marudufu.
sisi kama wanaoka tunataka kushirikiana na nyinyi nyote kama Wakenya kupunguza shida ya ajira, kupunguza ushuru na kuleta mali mashinani kwa wananchi.
Nyinyi ni wazee, mnajua fujo imekuwa hapa Kenya. Tulikuwa tunahitaji wazee kama nyinyi, manake Kenya inamalizwa na tamaa. There are people who cannot share. There are people who cannot give somebody who they don't know, but you have chosen to work together.
The leaders who are vowed to stick together and front one of them to run for president in next year's general election said no one should dictate to them who to support for presidency.
Wewe ndio utaamua. Tusikubali kamwe mtu kufikiri ataamua ni nani atakuwa MCA wako. Mtu kufikiri ni nani atakuwa mjumbe wako. Mtu kukaa na kufikiri atakuchagulia senator, ama kukaa ati yeye ndio atakupatia rais.
Wakifika hapa kula, lakini unajua kura ni yako. Kura ni silaha yako. Unasikia? Ukiingia huko booth, hiyo ni siri yako ambao unajua hii kura yangu itabadilisha maisha yangu.
At the same time, they have appealed to Kenyans to turn up in large numbers to register as voters, this even as they ask Parliament to add more resources to IBC to enable them execute their mandate. This is as a section of political leaders in Garissa and Wajir counties have called on IBC to extend the mass voter registration exercise for 30 more days.
But unfortunately, it is so obvious, including Garissa County, we are off target. So far in Garissa, we are about 5,000, 10,000 number all over county.
If you want to have credible process, then there must be a voter registration in a big way.
And our sign language interpreter tonight is Byron Abuli. In a related story, Deputy President William Ruto says Kenyans should be allowed to elect leaders of their choice without interference. Dr. Ruto, who was in Kajiado County, said Kenyans should not elect or should elect their leaders in an atmosphere devoid of fear and coercion.
On Sunday, Deputy President William Ruto, accompanied by a host of members of parliament, were in Kajiado County. The entourage began the day by attending Mass at Kimana Christ the King Catholic Church and later a service at AIC Church Loitoktok.
Bwana Yesu asifiwe.
Thereafter, they made stops at Ilasit, Loitoktok and Kimana towns. Dr. Ruto cautioning the electorate not to bow down to any form of pressure from those in power regarding their political choices.
Mimi nataka niwaulize wote pamoja hata na wale tunashindana na wao. Tafadhali tuache blackmail, tuache threats, tuache intimidation, tuache kuuzia watu uoga.
Ruto challenged his competitors to share with Kenyans their development agenda ahead of the 2022 general elections. The DP noted that Kenya will be a more transformed country if politics is anchored on issues.
Tumesema hii kinyang'anyiro wa Kenya ndio wataamua na sio viongozi watatuamulia.
Tunataka ule atashindana na Chief Hasla akuje na chama ya kitaifa, akuje na agenda kama bottom up, akuje na ile vile ataunganisha wa Kenya.
For Sunday Express, I'm Ben Troinju.
All right, now to Migori County. Small-scale gold miners in Nyatike, Migori County, continue to cry foul over what they term as outright violations of their human rights. Most of them lack mining licenses as foreign mining companies continue reaping big in the gold-rich land, causing environmental degradation and at the same time threatening the well-being of the residents. Recently, 2 miners perished after the walls of a mine they were working on caved in. Kamche Menza with details of this report.
Makalda Mines in Nyatike, Migori County is one of the sites reportedly invaded by foreign mining companies. The terrain is rugged as a result of blasting. We find small-scale local miners combing through the debris in search of gold. They say as much as the area is endowed with the mineral, residents have nothing to show for it.
The Chinese invaded this place. They are using very big machines, and whenever they use these big machines, our people, the local artisanal miners, succumb to the dangers of the mines.
Sisi wananchi tumebaki na vifo ambayo tunaangalia, tunaona, lakini mali yote imeenda. Tumebaki very poor.
Many lack mining licenses.
Na sheria ya Kenya nasema kwamba hakuna siku ambayo watakubalia mgeni kutoka nchi za ngine kuja kuchimba gold hapa eti iko na license. Na hii yake imepata wapi?
Residents say environmental degradation is at its peak. The mines are dangerous.
Currently we are mourning 2 of our brothers who have been working here and who lost their lives.
Sasa hatuna faida hapa. Mara ya 4, hebu muangalie hivi venye wamelima wameacha hivi. Hii wameacha kama wanatengeneza sisi tukule ama tukufe sisi wote.
In 2018, the Land and Environment Court sitting in Migori ordered a foreign gold mining company to restore part of the mineral-rich Makalda Hill destroyed through blasting. Implementation of this directive may take years. The same year, Nyatike Member of Parliament Tom Odege issued a 10-day ultimatum to foreign miners to vacate.
They must leave Nyatike today. If they continue to be Nyatike in the next 10 days, on 24th, I'm going to lead the people of Nyatike to evict them.
Kenya Human Rights Commission says it is shocked by the slow response from relevant authorities.
We are seeking to explore both legal mechanisms and also out-of-court mechanisms to ensure that justice is served.
Kamche Menza for Sunday Express.
And now the Turkana community is among a select few whose traditions have withstood the test of time. Across the entire county, you will spot men carrying, sitting or resting their heads on the ekicholong. Is a special seat also used as a headrest, synonymous with the culture and status of a true Turkana man. Our reporter Nancy Okware was in Turkana County and filed the following story.
Turkana County lies in the northwestern part of Kenya. It
has one of the most expansive landscape in the country, with a population of about 1 million people, according to the 2019 census report. The county boasts of breathtaking landscapes, with Great Plains hedged in by scenic hills, such as the Kabokorit, that we attempted scaling for a breathtaking view of Kakuma town at sunset. Turkana people have a special way of welcoming guests. Complete with melodic song and dance, the women carry the guests around their homestead as a sign of honor and friendship. The Turkana community is so hospitable that often a goat will be slaughtered in the village for the guests to feast on alongside their host. However, as you stroll in the towns or even in the rural areas, you'll notice something striking. Men holding a special stool, the ekicholong. It is a special multi-purpose for ensuring the comfort of its owner wherever he goes.
Hii nikifika mahali popote kama sasa tukikaa hapa hivi nyinyi mkiangaika mahali pa kukaa nyinyi mnakaa kwa kiti, so I'm much comfortable.
Ekicholong signifies the attainment of a certain status in society.
Sasa yule huyu kama hajafanywa ya asafan hata kalia kiti yangu, hata kama ni mkubwa zaidi yangu, kama mimi ni mdogo yake na nimefanywa asafan hata kalia kiti yangu.
Under a tree at Tarach village in Kakuma, we encountered these two elderly men napping away blissfully. At a closer look, we found they were resting their neck on the ekicholong. Ours is not to interrupt their afternoon relaxation. We are told they deal with conflict resolution and are awaiting any cases that may arise from this village on this day. At this point, the question lingering on our minds was, just how comfortable is this seat?
Inakaa tu mzuri. Kwa sababu unashimba paka akae mzuri, kapopile kikaa inakaa tu mzuri. Hauwezi kisikia mbaya.
Women are not allowed to sit on or even hold the ekicholong.
Hii ni tradition yetu ya Turkana. Hakuna mwanamke anaruhusiwa kushika hii kitu. Ni mwanaume tu peke yake. Sababu mwanamke uzi kuja kukaa mbele yangu na hii kiti. Sitting arrangement yako kwanza hayataruhusu.
Mtoto kwanza mtoto atakani ama timu nyingine kama umeoa rasmi alafu timu nyingine yakalie mpaka afanye hiyo rituals. Lete mbuzi atakaze hiyo kiti.
Additionally, if you're not of the same age group through marriage or an initiation ceremony known as the asapan, you're not allowed to sit on another person's ekicholong. The Turkana community believes that such a breach is taboo and should never happen, but in case it happens, it can only be reversed through a special cleansing ritual.
Ndio sasa anatoa mbuzi, anaongoa hiyo mbuzi, anatoa kinyesi, anasimea hapa juu. Hiyo inamaanisha kwa yeye alifunja amri. Yeye alifunja amri kalia kiti ya mtu msima mwenye amefanywa mela kubwa. Mwenye amefanywa mela kubwa.
Another striking thing about ekicholong is how one is required to wipe evidence after a sitting.
Ikikaa hivi, ukitaka kuamuka, nafanya hivi. Naweza kwenda. Ikisahau kupanguza, kuna mtu ile kuna maana wewe, kuna rombaya na wewe. Nitakuja kupata hiyo kitu unakaa hivyo. Inachukua unapeleka kwa choo ama unapeleka kwa mali ya moto. Sasa kupeleka kwa moto. Sasa mimi hapa naingia kitu kingine hapa. Ile nakaa kama doidoi.
The Turkana is undisputedly one of the communities whose traditions have remained untouched despite the wheels of modernization. They have held on to their beliefs, just as the men hold on to the ekicholong for comfort, status, and rest wherever the day takes them. Nancy Okware, reporting from Kakuma, Turkana County.
Thank you, Nancy, for that interesting report from Turkana County, Ekicholong. An interesting stool there that is multi-purpose. You can use it as a pillow, you can use it as a seat, but one thing that stood out is how you wipe evidence as soon as you're done using it. Anyway, moving on, President Uhuru Kenyatta is expected in Glasgow, Scotland on Monday, November 1st, where he will join other world leaders at the United Nations Climate Change Conference. The head of state, who is among the speakers at the World Leaders Summit, will lead the country in advocating for the full and timely implementation of the Paris Climate Agreement. Let's get that report from Purity Museo.
The highly anticipated United Nations Climate Change Conference is being held in the Scottish city of Glasgow, bringing together delegates from around 200 countries. With the global warming attributed to fossil fuel emissions caused by human beings on the rise, the world leaders are expected to announce how they will cut carbon emissions by the year 2030. COP26 President Alok Sharma has warned the window to keep within 1.5-degree warming target is closing. It is a target world leaders agreed to work towards in 2015 to avoid the worst climate impacts. President Uhuru Kenyatta is among speakers at the World Leaders Summit, expected to set out actions the country is taking to tackle climate change and showcase Kenya as a leader on climate action in the region. Kenya was the first African country to pass a Climate Change Act in 2016 and runs 90% renewable power with a target of hitting 100% by 2030. Meanwhile, leaders of the world's richest economies are trying to reach a meaningful deal on preventing climate change at the G20 summit in Rome, Italy. They are yet to announce any firm new commitments to reduce carbon emissions in the coming years. The G20 group, made up of 19 countries and the European Union, accounts for 80% of the world's emissions. The leaders have already approved the global agreement that will see the profits of large businesses taxed at least 15%. Purity Museo, Sunday Express.
And of course, developing countries are the biggest or the most affected when it comes to carbon emissions. And we're all looking towards that conference to see what solutions come from the meeting. Now, the COVID-19 positivity rate is down to 0.6% after 17 people tested positive from a sample size of 3,014 screened in the last 24 hours. Total confirmed positive cases are now 253,310. And cumulative tests so far conducted stand at 2.7 million, according to data from the Ministry of Health. The death toll is now 5,281 after 5 more patients succumbed, all being late reports from facility audit records in September and October. As of Saturday, October 30th, 2021, a total of 5.3 million vaccines had been administered across the country. Meanwhile, statistics from the Johns Hopkins University indicate that over 246.5 million people have tested positive, while more than 4.99 million people have died. Let's move this forward. A family from Malaba, Teso North, Busia County is appealing for help so that their 3-month-old baby undergoes open heart surgery. Baby Rael Amojong has been diagnosed with truncus arteriosus type 1, a congenital heart deformity. Doctors have suggested a surgical intervention before the child attains the age of 5 months to avoid further complications.
Baby Rael Ajamong is just 3 months old, but the pain she has endured cannot be explained.
Nilijifungua huyu mtoto mwezi wa 7 tarehe 23 hospitali naitwa Gocholia. Nilienda nyumbani, fika nyumbani nilijua mtoto wako mzima. Lakini baada ya mwezi 2 nikaona hiyo kupumua bado inazidi.
When Rael was born, her parents had no idea of her heart condition.
Kupumua watoto wanapumuanga hivi, akanieleza hapana, inaweza kuwa ni pneumonia, mkimbize wapi? Hospitali Gocholia. Tukamkimbiza, kufika Gocholia akatuambia tupeleke Busia. Kupeleka Busia, huyo daktari akatuambia mtoto wako sawa. Kurudi, mtoto bado ako vile vile. Tukarudi tena Gocholia. Kurudi Gocholia, wa watoto pia akasema hii ya wezi.
Doctors have recommended an open heart surgery before she turns 5 months old, a procedure that can be done locally at a cost of 1.85 million Kenya shillings.
Mzizi hiyo. Sasa bila walimulika inamwaga damu sana. Inamwaga kwa mbavu huku hivi. Wakampima, wakampiga picha, wakapata iko mzizi haitembezi damu kwa mwili yote. Tukamuuliza na kutibu naweza mtibu aje? Labda Nairobi ama India. Sasa tukashtuka. Tukashindwa tutafanya nini?
To assist the family, donations can be sent to paybill number 8043583, account name Rael, or via M-Pesa on mobile number 0714803360. Ruth Wamboy for Sunday Express.
Rael Amojong is a child who needs our help. Like we always say, helping those who cannot or who don't have the ability to help themselves.
Yeah.
We're helping God also.
Yeah, true.
You remember that?
I remember that. I was hoping you would go on and even quote whatever you quote. But anyway, it's important to extend a helping hand at this particular time. That story, we will be posting it on our social media handles in case you need the numbers for you to reach out. You can do that. We're going to be taking a short break right now. Thank you so much for keeping us company till this far. But remember, on the other side, we will be having our interview for the day. I'll be having a sit down with Kenneth Warungu Mwangi, a governance and legal expert, who will be telling me about his journey and beating the odds of disability in our country and emerging as one of the people who are inspiring young people and also inspiring those who are living with disability that you can actually scale the heights and become whoever you want to become. That will be coming after this particular
And today you're going to read the Bible with Warungu.
Yes. It's a Bible written in Braille. Interesting. I'll be finding out. He's telling me like one Bible. If he was to come with the entire Bible, he would probably come with a pickup. We'll find out more about that. But yeah, do keep us company and please interact with us on social media at Serfine_Achieng, at Kioria, and at KBC Channel 1. We are coming back in just a few.
We take it on at the right time. Honorable Musalia Mudavadi.
The Honorable Mutahi Kagwe.
Chief Justice Martha Karambuko.
This is KBC, is the voice of Kenya.
Asking the right questions.
I don't know how it made you feel as speaker who is presiding over a house where members can be compromised with 10,000 shillings.
We keep our guests comfortable. A mission to ensure our audience gets a complete story.
For a few hours or so, I thought this is it. My end has come.
If really we want an end of this pandemic, we must fight.
Our goal, to tell it as it is for the benefit of our viewer.
And I'm sure we will have good discussions.
All right.
That will make probably your viewers understand KDF better.
With 21 radio outlets.
During a live interview on KBC TV, Chief of Defense Forces General Robert Kiboshi.
Jaji mkuu kwa mara ya kwanza katika mahojiano yake ya kipekee na runinga ya KBC Channel 1.
And 2 TV stations covering over 90% of the entire country. The message always gets home. KBC, the home of on-air TV interviews.
Basi baba. Mgomo bagalenu baba. Tena buda ndio. Buda una. Toa hizo.
Imebidi nimpeleke mtoto saluni na nimemwacha huko. Nimemwacha mtoto saluni, akimpigia babake amwambia mwacha saluni peke yake utanyongwa.
Wanifuatia nini wewe? Kama ungelikuwa umemwacha kweli, ningelikuwa siko hapa.
You know exactly what I mean.
Ama unaona hapa ni chooni, utaingia unapotaka, utoke unapotaka.
Log on to the KBC website at www.kbc.co.ke to get the latest breaking news, entertainment, sports, politics, lifestyle, or business trends from Kenya and around the world. Never miss new episodes from your favorite TV shows, reruns, and movies. Just stream online or watch live on your YouTube channel at KBC Channel 1 TV shows. For the day's biggest stories, trustworthy news, and family entertainment, log on to KBC Channel 1. Watch what you want anytime, anywhere.
Welcome back. You're watching Sunday Express. Before we head over to Serfine Achieng with that interview, the Hindu Religious and Service Center organization now wants every Kenyan to be involved in environment conservation efforts. The convener of the organization, Mansukh Barbat, who led its members in a free planting or tree planting exercise at Lenana High School Sunday, said it is through environment conservation that some of natural disasters such as drought and floods can be arrested.
1, 2, 3.
The Hindu Religious and Service Center organization joined students and staff of the Lenana High School in a tree planting exercise where 2,000 seedlings were planted on Sunday. The charitable organization urging Kenyans to prioritize environmental conservation, terming it as the foundation of human race livelihood.
We want to make sure that in Nairobi, we are covering a lot of trees. They are supporting us with the land, and we want to plant a lot of trees. We want to change the lives of Kenyans.
We have put a lot of efforts and policies to ensure that we can be able to move from the current 7.2% to 10%, so that we can actually reduce and mitigate the effects of the climate change.
Elsewhere, Lamu Island is expected to be abuzz with activity as the 3-day Maulid festival kicks off on Tuesday next week. According to the events coordinator Jamauddin Abdul Kadir, the festival that marks the birthday of Prophet Muhammad will bring together hundreds of Muslim pilgrims from Kenya and around the world.
Miongoni mwa yaliyopatikana au yaliyozalika katika kupatikana haya maulidi ni musabaqatul Quran. Musabaqatul Quran ambao utakuwa ni siku ya Ijumaa hapa saa 2.
It was all smiles to inmates at the Thika Main and Women Prison after they participated in a beauty contest and other forms of art to discover life outside prison. Among the activities they showcased include beauty pageant contest, modeling, dancing, and reciting the spoken word, among other forms of art.
We realized that in prison most talents, we're like sleeping on our talent, on the inmates' talent, and we thought that it is good to encourage them.
Napata wale watu wetu wa nyumbani, wale familia yangu wamenitupa, lakini sasa unaona vile katu kinakuja kutembelea, naonanga furaha sana, naona ni kama nakumbukwa.
Finally, a real estate company has embarked on a rent-to-own home program which is crafted to suit low-income earners to be able to own a house within a period of 5 years.
For anyone paying 30,000 will be assured as rent, is assured that in the next few months, maybe talking about 24 months, they'll be able to own a home whereby they'll be having what they're calling rent-to-own.
All right, and welcome back, and thank you so much for staying with us. And now we start our conversation for the night on Sunday Express tonight. I'm having a sit down with Kenneth Mwangi. Kenneth is a lawyer, and of course he has done a lot when it comes to civic education and just advocating for the rights of persons living with disability. He will be letting me in on how his journey has been and how he crafted this passion for persons with disability and leadership and civic education. First of all, thank you so much for creating time for us.
Thank you so much, Safi. Happy Sunday and good evening.
Thank you so much for coming.
Asante.
So let's begin by getting to know you a little bit. So growing up in Murang'a, tell us a little bit about yourself as a young person, and whether you, at one point, you saw yourself sitting here today and sharing your story of inspiration. Did it ever occur to you that you are going to scale that high in life?
Not at all, but of course, being a young person, you build up expectations. I come from a family of 5, 3 siblings, myself, my sister, and my brother. 2 very supporting parents, Mr. and Mrs. Walungu. Born in Muranga, Madeira constituency, Keru Ward, Kola village. I was born there. Then after 2 years, I was discovered of having an issue, eye issue. It's called glaucoma. Went for treatment, underwent 3 major operations. From there, I was recommended to attend a special school where they undertake the learning of Braille. Braille basically means that you read by touching. So, and Article 7 of the Constitution, led with Article 27, recognize Braille as a language. So it was very important, even at a tender age, to go and be able to learn Braille. It's quite complex, but with being young and, of course, having a very fresh brain and mind, I was able to learn Braille, which I've studied with it for 13 years. Yeah.
All right, today our topic, Kenneth, is centered around going beyond disability, because when we talk about disability, many would say there is still a lot of stigma and misunderstanding about this whole concept of disability, and many would feel a bit limited when they want to aspire and become somebody in life. Tell us a little bit about whether your condition has made you at one point feel different and, you know, hindered, you know, at a particular point, and what you did to overcome the obstacles you faced in life.
First, from the onset, disability, I think, has many clans, and there are 2 types of disability. That is the severe one and the non-severe one. Second is that we say that we are all potential candidates of disability, including myself. True, I'm visually impaired, but due to various occurrences, I could also find myself being physically challenged. So we say that we are potential candidates of disability. The other one is that disability comes with a lot of challenges. If you're visually impaired, then you have to have a guide. There are things that you can't do by yourself. Probably you will need someone to, if it's a print, to read for you. So it's true, but what we do is that we normally say the challenges you get, it enables you to get solution out of it. So true, it's been a journey. There have been challenges, but we say that you don't get disappointed, you don't get demotivated. You must always remain hopeful. You must always soldier on. You must always find a solution to any occurring challenge. Yeah.
Oh, it's not very common to find persons living with disability in professions such as yours. You know, many are hindered in one way or the other and end up in, you know, different professions that they would find more flexible for their conditions. We are yet to find a situation where it becomes easy for persons living with disability to become doctors, to become lawyers, to become, you know, those kind of professions where they've not been given that particular chance. Tell us a little bit about some of the challenges you've seen that would hinder persons living with disability to get to where you are today.
Profession and careers are all about curriculum.
Yeah.
So you find in most cases, if you are to do engineering for visually impaired students, if you have to do medicine for visually impaired students, then you need what I would call adapted curriculum. To adapt such a curriculum to some extent that it will fit this particular person living with this disability, it becomes a challenge. But good for law, it's very easy because law is a social science, law, political science, public administration, international diplomacy. All those are social sciences, so they don't involve a lot of practicals. But for courses that requires a lot of practical, then it's become hard for a person, especially of this clan of person with disability, to get such a curriculum that can be adapted to fit them. But for other nature of disability, like the physically challenged, well, I think they can be able to undertake any other courses like medicine or engineering, because I don't think they involve a lot of practicals that is so involving. But for visually impaired, true, there is a challenge because of the adaptability of the curriculum. Yeah.
But you'd also agree with me, there's still a little bit of stigma that is making persons living with disability also fear breaking out of their shell to pursue these opportunities. Have you had or experienced such, as you interact with persons living with disability? That fear of coming out and just going for what you really want.
Through Safi, there is still that stigma, either from other people that are not living with disability, or even people that are with disability for various reasons. But I think as persons who are enlightened in this world of persons living with disability, we are really trying to do much in terms of the advocacy and the mainstreaming. Even find the cases where even kids or children living with disability have been locked in the houses. So we really try to enlighten the parents. We try to make sure that those kids are registered with the National Council of Persons with Disability. And we also try to make sure that they are fitted in whichever mainstream that they can be able to operate. It may be probably getting enrolled in schools to do various studies, get into a law in various vocations to do and undertake various courses. So true, we are doing a lot, and whatever you are saying is true that there could be stigma either from that particular person living with disability, or even people that surround person with disability. To some extent, they think that this person cannot be able to perform this particular job or opportunity. So it's true. But we are doing a lot of things, including whatever we are doing this evening. I would consider is that as part of disability mainstreaming and disability advocacy, either to a person living with disability or a person has a friend. Because we normally say that for now, Safi, you would testify that every person could be having a friend who is living with disability. So today evening show, I think it's really fit in terms of advocacy and streaming.
It's part of just creating awareness that
awareness.
Disability is indeed not inability.
We normally call ourselves able differently. We say that the only thing that I cannot be able to do probably whatever you do it fully, but through that I'm able in a different way.
All right, it's good you're saying that. So growing up in Murang'a, in your village in Murang'a, I mean, I believe it's a society just like any other society in our country where we still have a long way when it comes to understanding persons living with disability. Stigma is still rife, challenges are still there. We've not made the environment very conducive for persons living with disability. What made you a story different? What gave you the inspiration as Kenneth to say that my story is going to be different? I'm going to write another version of a story of somebody living with disability. What inspired you?
I think two things. One is that I schooled in my village, nursery, standard 1, and partly term 1 for standard 2. And I was very lucky because I come from a background where my parents are also teachers. If you find a person living with disability and probably the parents are not that mainstream or do not have the sufficient awareness, then it makes sure that that person living with disability become even more vulnerable than probably the majority of us. So they were very the awareness from my parents was quite very high. So from there, I was recommended by now the doctor who was now treating me to attend a special school. So from class 2, I was forced to go back to nursery so that I can start now learning Braille. So it's true, but I think the help that I got from my parents and of course my siblings and the awareness that now my parents had was able to make sure that even as I grow up, I create that confidence in me, and going to a special school in Melu, because you see now there is another story. I've been born in Murang'a and then you have to be taken to Meru. By then I was very, very, very young, and it's a boarding school. You need to go there, start getting to wash your clothes, wash yourself.
You're separated from
you
your
have
parents.
been separated for your parents and your family. You have to go and start your life there. And you remember by then, I don't know how it happened with the CBC. We'd go for first term for 3 months, then second term for 3 months, another 2.5 months. So you
like
are
an entire year you are
you are on your own, and of course the people who are taken care of. So I happen to have joined a St. Lucy's School for the Bride. It's in Melwe Goji. It's a Catholic missionary school. So there I also was able to adapt a lot. I was able to create confidence there. I was able to create the aggressiveness in myself. And I think the school, having attended the boarding school pretty young, I was also able to be handled to some extent. Now I can be able to maneuver a lot of things.
All right, so yours was different. You saw an opportunity in the sense that your parents were a bit, they were aware about your condition, and they were more enlightened.
Yeah.
And they could take you to these schools, and you could pursue whatever a level of education you wanted. But do you think they still need more awareness to be centered around the parents who have children with disability? Because some of them, for lack of understanding and for lack of even how they're going to cope in the environment that they live in, they end up getting confused how they're going to raise this particular child in the community. Do you think there's more that needs to be done to also just walk with parents this journey of raising a child with disability?
Yeah, I think a lot has to be done to parents living with personal disability, because you find in a family probably you are 5 and one has a disability, the rest of the siblings 4 don't have a disability. You may find very easy for this person living with disability facing discrimination and studies and being concentrated to the other 4. So it's good we create a lot of awareness to parents that are handling kids or children living with disability, and it's through awareness can be created by even more person living with disability that are successive, coming out and being an inspiration to this parent that your child can be this particular person at one time, and you really don't need to hide that particular kid. You really don't need to discriminate that particular kid. He or she can be just like any other kid in the family. What you really need to know is that if he's visually impaired, there are school for visually impaired students. If he's physically challenged, there are school for physically challenged students. If he's or she's a deaf, then there are deaf schools. And when he gets incorporated in that studies and learning and that curriculum, he'll be able to work hard, he'll be able to mingle and interact with the others. That particular child will feel at home, away from home, and he'll be able to one day follow his dream, his passion. He'll be able to work hard and become just like any other person, and even become better than the other siblings or the other kids in the family.
All right.
Yeah.
Just like yourself, a success story. Today you're a lawyer, almost just being admitted to the bar, and you're also one of the most insightful political analysts in the country as you speak right now.
Yeah.
You have a very strong passion for governance and leadership. Tell us a bit about that. Did it find you? Did you find it?
I think just like I said, growing up in the primary school, I went St. Lucy, and growing with the rest of the person now living with disability there, to be specific, visually impaired, we were a bit hardened. I think going to boarding school at a tender age, having to maneuver life by yourself, we calculated it became almost 8 to 9 months where you have to be on your own, far from your parents. You only meet during the holidays. It's 1 month. If you compare the other kids who normally go to a day school, you normally get a chance to see your parents every evening. In this case, you don't have that opportunity to see your parents. So it's upon you now to work hard. It's upon you to be responsible on your own. If it's homework, you make sure you do it. If there are other things, and especially being in a boarding school, you also be able to do other activities down there. So I think that while combining all those things, I became very aggressive. I also became very confident, And this one has assisted me all over time, and to be able to also get into politics, either by way of practice or by way of analyzing.
All right.
Yeah.
You say that right now one of the key activities you're engaging yourself in is promoting civic education and political rights for persons living with disability, and you're strongly advocating for them to increasingly participate in the electoral process. Why do you find this significant?
I think if you read Article 1 of the Constitution on the sovereignty of the people, it will stipulate that the sovereignty of the people can be represented either directly or indirectly. And it's in this notion that we also advocate and mainstream that even in the representation of the sovereignty of the people, we also have persons with disability included. Secondly, we also read the Article 27 of the Constitution. It also fight against discrimination, any form of discrimination, may it be on religion, may it be on social, may it be on political discrimination. And we normally say governance, leadership, and representation. One form of it is political representation, either through a nomination or through a elective politics. So we also advocate that a person with disability can also have one of their own, either representing the other person with disability or even representing all persons. And if you read the International Code on Persons with Disabilities, normally mention that there is nothing for us without us. So we normally say that we cannot be having a government that is purporting to be representing us
without
or a county assembly or a county government without the inclusion of us. So we really need a person living with disability incorporated in the government, in the county government, in the county assembly, in various government parastatal, and even in a private sector, so that they can also be able to even assist in advocacy and even in assist in disability mainstreaming. And if you read Article 54 of the Constitution, also states on 5% representation on persons with disability, which should be progressive in all appointive and elective seats. So I think it's on that notion that we also resident our advocacy and mainstreaming on disability representation in key government sectors.
All right, thank you so much. And you do that so well, you know, having been the founder member of the Constitution Task Force Committee on Constitution Making for the University of Nairobi Students with Disabilities Association. You've also served at the County Assembly of Murang'a as a legal advisor. You've also worked at the Parliament of Kenya, at the Senate. And I can go on and on about what you have achieved with your legal mind, but this we'll do in another forum. You also have that other side. You've carried a Bible with you as you wind up.
Yeah, sure.
You know, it's Sunday.
Yeah, it's
Sunday Express.
Yeah,
so you had something you wanted us to read.
I said it's Sunday, and you know we all grew as Sunday school kids, and that one has pushed us even as we grow to also remember praying and also having our Bible. So I came with a Braille Bible. It's John. And as you mentioned that if I was to come with the whole Bible, then I would have to carry it in a pickup. Reason being that Braille is very complex as a language, as I mentioned, pursuant to Article 7 of the Constitution. And just to mention a little bit about Braille as a language, we normally say A is .1. So B is .12, C is .14, D is .145. So when I touch this particular Bible, when I hear, I touch a dot that is at the upper, I'll be able to know that's A. So when I touch 2.12, I'll be able to know that's B. Yeah, so that's what make Braille to be a language. So I came with a Bible, so you can also have your Bible, John, then you can be able to read
Let me
together.
just very quickly, let me tell you what you're going to read for us. This is John 13, 34 to 35.
John 30.
I see how you tactfully allocating it in the Braille Bible.
Said John
13,
John 13,
Yes.
should be on this side.
And then you're going to tell me what it says?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me. Braille is very complex, so you need sometimes to locate it. John 13.
You there? Or
Yeah, almost there.
Okay.
Almost there. To see where.
And it takes a lot of skill, yeah?
Yeah, it takes a lot of skills. You said John?
13.
13,
Yes.
This one is 24. This should be on this. So Braille is very, very complex.
Yeah, now you're making us understand how this you really have to master.
You really have to master bit by bit.
All right. And you can't even it's by touch, yeah? That's when you get to know it. Yes.
Touch.
All right. Interesting.
By touch, you'll be able to, like just we mentioned, if it's A, it's in chapter?
This is 13.
Chapter 13? Or?
Yes, John 13.
Because this chapter 3, I don't know whether it's...
we can just, find an easy one. Yeah. What does that say? Because I can locate.
Chapter 13, Jesus teaches Nicodemus. Yeah, so that's chapter 3, You can go to chapter 3.
Okay, let me just locate mine.
And probably confirm to your viewers
that what you're saying is true. Mine has also failed technology. Oh my goodness. And there we go. We ran out of time. Yeah. But thank you. Looks like this is a class we need to pick up after this, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. But thank you so much for, creating time and also teaching us a little bit about Braille. And I believe we will be having more forums to get to know more about even your passion for leadership and governance. We really appreciate you, Kenneth Mwangi. He is a governance and legal expert. Tonight we were just talking about how one can actually go beyond disability, and he's a true example of disability is not inability. Thank you for watching. We will be crossing over on the other side in just a bit. John Jacob Kioria will be updating you on the latest in the world of sports.
Kenya Defence Forces, KDF, announces the recruitment of General Service Officers, GSO Cadets, Specialist Officers, General Duty Recruits, Tradesmen and Women, and Constables scheduled for the month of November 2021. Listen to Radio Taifa during the entire month of November 2021 for details of the recruitment process. Then grab your local newspaper, The Daily Nation, on the 31st of October and 7th of November, The Star on the 5th of November, while The Standard will have those details on the 27th of October, 14th of November, and 9th of November on MyGov inside The Standard newspaper. The People's Daily on the 8th of November and 12th of November. Remember, no one can influence the recruitment process because bribery and other acts of corruption are against the law. Report any suspicious activities or characters to the nearest police station or military camp, or call hotline numbers 0726419709 or 01203000599. KDF recruitment is absolutely free to all.
Time for us now to do sports. In former Los Angeles marathon champion Elisha Kiprop and little-known Valentin Keter were crowned the 2021 Standard Chartered Nairobi Marathon champion Sunday. In the men's 21 kilometers half marathon race, Vincent Ngetich emerged victorious, while the ladies' category was won by Perrine Ningambi.
Elisha Kiprop timed 2 hours 11 minutes and 7 seconds to emerge victorious in this year's Standard Marathon that had attracted close to 2,000 participants. He was followed by Alphonse Kigen, who clocked 2 hours 11 minutes and 11 seconds, while Joshua Kogo finished third in 2 hours 11 minutes and 14 seconds. In the ladies category, Valentine Kipketer cruised to victory in 2 hours 30 minutes and 01 seconds, followed by Naomi Mano and Beatrice Jepto, who timed 2 hours 32 minutes and 22 seconds and 2 hours 32 minutes and 33 seconds respectively.
Kwa mzuri na ilikuwa mara yangu ya kwanza, sasa sijui hata ya last year na ya this year.
In the 21-kilometer race, Vincent Ngetich emerged victorious in the men's category, while the ladies' category was won by Perrine Ningambi. Winners in both categories each walked away with 2 million shillings. Frederick Moki for Sunday Express.
And now the Kenya Golf Union has today launched a US Golf Junior Series tournament at Muthaiga Golf Club, Nairobi. The series will be used to give junior golfers a chance to showcase their prowess and participate in international tournaments to help nurture their talent. The launch was graced by Sports Cabinet Secretary Ambassador Amina Mohammed.
Expectation, ladies and gentlemen, that the coaches and their respective golf clubs will use their newly acquired knowledge and skills to attract and nurture the talents of junior golf players from across our beautiful country. Additionally, today marks the launch of US Kids Local Tour competition, which will also give qualifying golfers more opportunities.
But we're here this week to celebrate the launching of a coach development program of individual kids who might come into the program. The people and the leaders here in Kenya have sought to really make a difference in the kids' lives, and would really like an organized, structured program.
Today we are delighted as Safaricom to be involved in a partnership with the Kenya Junior Golf Foundation to launch support for juniors in order for us to create juniors of the future. We've been supporting golf for a very long time as a company, in the same way that we've supported many sports, whether that is athletics, football.
Partnership on this particular line is a 3-year partnership that we made a commitment to support together with the Junior Golf Foundation.
I'm not that good now, but I'm gonna get better by years and months. Because my swing is accurate, but I'm always away from the fairway.
My dad introduced me to golf, and I love the sport because it's a game of life.
And now National Rugby Sevens team Shujaa won the Safari Sevens title for the 4th time after beating Germany 12-5 in the final match played today at the Nyayo National Stadium. The team coached by Innocent Simiyu qualified for the finals after beating their counterparts Morans 19-17 in semis, while Germany defeated Red Whalers 26-6. Morans clinched 3rd position after beating Red Whalers 10-5 in the 3rd place playoff match. A total of 14 teams took part in the 2-day competition.
For what's about to transpire on this pitch.
Advantage.
Atmosphere building up slowly as we see the sun coming out. It's going to be a rather warm day as opposed to
Police FC have appointed former Harambee Stars head coach Jacob Ghost-Mulee as the technical director. The team is making a debut in the FKF Premier League and have just 1 win after 5 games. Meanwhile, Kakamega Homeboys beat Vihiga United 3-2 today to go top of the FKF Premier League standings. In another match, Kariobangi Sharks thrashed Mathare United 6-0 at the Kasarani Stadium. Obviously, this is where we put a cap on Sunday Express. But of course, a quick one on the EPL. Today appears like Norwich City is not lucky. Today they were beaten by Leeds United 2-1 after Chelsea beat them 7-0. So, yeah, Norwich is doing
How you say that 7-0?
It's a stragglers team. But anyway, God will help them.
Usichome. Thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate your time tonight, and for those who took time to interact with us also on social media, we appreciate you. My name is Serfine Achieng Ouma, and our sign language interpreter for the night has been Byron Abuli. Have a good night.
My name is John Jacob Kioria. Have yourself a fantastic week ahead. See you on Wednesday on Prime Edition.